Interesting tapes have dropped this week. Trump has finally been caught lying about something actually important. Chris Cuomo has been caught being less tactful than he would usually appear to be. So, will these tapes damage the careers of this wonderful moral man? Are the skies over the western United States orange in honor of the orange man in the White House? Let's get into it. Wildfires turned the skies of the western United States apocalyptical. Several states are under attack of never-ending wildfires. 3.4 million acres have so far been burned. Thousands of people evacuated, and so far 7 have actually died. Most of these wildfires can be attributed to climate change, difficult wind conditions, and fire suppression. Fire suppression meaning the government doesn't allow natural wildfires to burn through the forests, which would actually be healthy, and in turn, that things accumulate, so when a wildfire actually erupts, it has a lot of fuel. Some wildfires were also caused by idiots doing things for Instagram and Facebook likes. Over the weekend, in California, a couple had a gender reveal party. They used pyrotechnics for the reveal. They sparked a little fire. They tried putting it out, but couldn't. They called the authorities, but by the time they got there, it had gotten out of control.
Battling dozens of raging wildfires in California. Officials say one of the fires, the El Dorado in San Bernardino County, started after pyrotechnics were used at a gender reveal party. Flames have scorched nearly 10,000 acres since Saturday. Fire officials say the blaze was only 7% contained as of late last night. No word if any charges will be filed related to this fire.
Stop doing gender reveal parties. And not for the reason Trevor Noah gives.
Celebrating a baby's genitalia is starting to feel very outdated. Like, given everything we're learning about gender reveal parties should only happen when the child is old enough to know their actual gender and to pitch in some cash for the fire damage.
Why is this guy on TV? He's not even funny. He has good Trump impressions, I'll give him that. But he's not funny. Now let's move on to the tapes. You guys remember Michael Cohen, the disgraced New York lawyer, typical mob boss lawyer, Trump's lawyer, Sean Hannity's lawyer? Well, it seems like he's very close friends with the perfect Chris Cuomo. In fact, Cuomo confides in Michael Cohen when he's accused of sexual assault. Take a listen.
He's careful when I talk to media, you know?
Right.
Do you know how many phone calls I've gotten from people at ABC who say that reporters are calling and lying about things they heard about me to try to get stories about me when I was at ABC? Guys calling and saying, I heard he was the Charlie Rose of ABC, he used to invite women to the hotel and open his bathroom. Do I look like the kind of guy who's got to do that?
Sure, why not? But you're
lying. So I already have a good source that says that he forced one woman to have sex. I just want to know if you've ever heard anything like that. There is no woman.
Right.
There is none of that.
So here's the problem.
Women who do work there saying, oh yeah, you know, some of these men, and naming me with other guys, you know, we bumped into each other once in the elevator and he put his hand on my shoulder and he made me really uncomfortable. I mean, what the
It's a problem, and now you.
So I'm careful with the media always.
Right.
I've always told you, the media is not your friend.
No.
Isn't it funny how Chris Cuomo, a guy that can't stop boasting about how much he benches, is shocked to be accused of sexual assault? Do I look like the kind of guy who needs to... Yes, Michael Cohen responds. Now, accusations don't matter. In this country, we're presumed innocent until proven guilty. But I feel like I remember Chris Cuomo saying something about Chris Kavanaugh not being presumed innocent because it wasn't a court hearing. Yeah. Well, I guess we shouldn't presume your innocence either, buddy. The Cuomo tapes also gave us proof that CNN is indeed fake news. Sort of. At least their interviews are. See, Michael Cohen called Chris Cuomo to ask him for coaching for an upcoming CNN interview. Chris Cuomo got so detailed with his advice that he started acting out both parties. Take a listen.
I'm going to ask you for your advice on how to handle the interview that I'm doing first with you. Erin Burnett wants me to do hers first. So she goes, yeah, but it's better if I do it with a woman as opposed to with you. I said,
why? You're not accused of bothering a woman.
I said, but Chris is a woman.
And why didn't you just let it all come out and let the people decide? because it's not a fair process.
It's right.
They wouldn't have had any of the counterfacts, and they would have had her. If she was somehow convinced to do it, and people decided to believe that her denials were somehow less true than her admissions. I didn't want to play that game. Everything was tilted against Mr. Trump. And that's what it is. And then either they'll believe it or they'll be like, that. There's no way he didn't know. It looks shady. Yeah, okay, fine. Look, it's a shady business. I didn't like that I had
Politics is a shady business.
Right, I didn't like that I had to pay her to keep her quiet just in case she decided to lie again because somebody was paying her.
In the next tape I'm going to play for you, Cuomo advises Cohen to attack the interviewer. And then he assures him that he's going to make some phone calls so Cohen doesn't get indicted. Who are you going to call your big brother? Take a listen.
How do you get in trouble? You don't get in trouble legally. I'll ask, I'm going to make some phone calls on them and make sure that you can't give.
Now I think those tapes could damage his career a little bit, but not compared to the Trump tapes released this week. Let's move on. Bob Woodward, an investigative journalist, has released some tapes with Donald Trump to go along with his new book. In the tapes, we can hear Bob and Donald talking early in the pandemic game. February, March. Let's take a listen.
And so what was President Xi saying yesterday?
Well, we were talking mostly about the virus, and I think he's going to have it in good shape. But it's a very tricky situation.
Indeed,
it goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. The touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air, and that's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. People don't realize we lose 25,000, 30,000 people a year here. Who would ever think that, right?
I know. It's
pretty amazing. And then I say, well, is that the same thing? This is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
There are two big problems I have with this. First, in the conversation with Bob, Donald is saying that he knows that the virus is about 5 times more deadly than the flu. However, at the time, he was saying, hey guys, relax, it's just another flu. He even sent out this tweet. Why? Second point, and maybe most importantly, it seems like Trump and the administration knew very early on that the virus was airborne. Yet they didn't suggest masks for months. They didn't suggest masks until April. In fact, the Surgeon General came out saying, hey guys, don't buy masks, don't wear masks. And then when they got caught lying, they said, oh, we lied because we didn't want there to be a shortage for our frontline workers. I don't know. I think that if you were honest, there would have been no shortage for frontline workers. Trump's reasoning was also explained to Bob in the conversation. Take a listen.
Now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob. Just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older.
Yeah, exactly.
Young people, to plenty of young people.
So
what's going on
give me a moment of talking to somebody, going through this with Fauci or somebody who kind of it caused a pivot in your mind, because it's clear just from what's on the public record that you went through a pivot on this to, oh my God, the gravity is almost inexplicable and unexplainable.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
I understand as a leader of the nation, you don't want to create a panic. Panic could descend into chaos. I understand that completely. And those are things that only you, as the leader of the country, can really think about. Because you're in that situation. But you gotta be honest, man. If you're not honest, you lose people. Honest, you can't be lying, because then you're just another one of those politicians. This isn't gonna be good for you, man. I need to think about it more, but for now, Donald's lies are a strike in my book. It's not out by any means, but it's a strike. The lies don't sit right with me. So what do you think? Are the tapes damning for Cuomo or Trump? Is Trevor Noah even funny? Comment down below. Like, subscribe. Ginger out.